Okay.
What's up, everybody? Yep, Sunday afternoon, and we are on here to check everything out. Glad to see all y'all. We got a big crowd already because you know what? We got some special guests we're
Yeah,
going to talk
it
to in a
is
little bit.
Sunday,
Sunday at 7 here at Eastern
April
time,
the 16th.
April 16th. And we've been working our rear ends off today. We doing some gardening. I'm irrigating as we speak.
Really?
Yeah,
It rained
it
today.
didn't rain enough. I went out there and looked. It didn't rain enough, so I'm
Wow.
having to get the drip tape running a little bit. So yeah, it's
Mm.
pretty, man. It's been pretty. We got a little short shower today, but weather's been good. Yesterday it was almost 85 degrees.
Mhm.
We spent a little, had a little water therapy yesterday. We went fishing for a little bit. So
Yeah. Caught some brim.
yeah, yeah. We've
I
been
did.
busy. We've been busy. So to get out a little bit was good for us. We got folks on here from everywhere: North Carolina, New York City, New York City. How about that?
Yeah.
Yep, Dalton, Georgia. All right, folks. We got a special guest in the house tonight. We're gonna bring it on, and we're gonna talk a little bit of gardening because they're in the same zone we are.
I thought they were in 7.
Well, no, they're in
Really?
8. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Oh, yeah. They're South Alabama.
Oh.
Yeah. 7. All right, so let's bring the COD squad on.
You ready?
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Ba-boom. What's up?
What's happening, y'all?
Hello.
So, see, we got a sporting the overalls, and let's talk about the overalls just a minute because we was getting into this right before the show here. I'm a big overalls fan, although I don't have them on today. So, what brand is this?
These are Duluth, and they're the gardening series. And what I love about them, what I was telling you, is that we were doing gardening today. As a matter of fact, my drip's running right now as well. We were gardening today, and these overalls have knee pads in them, removable knee pads. Yeah.
That is good for us old people.
Well, see, I might could have had that in my garden down there. I had knee pads.
Look at there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game changer right there.
It is. Yep.
Well, they don't.
So, Brooke, you got the knee pads as
Yeah,
well?
that's what I was going to say.
No, you had to buy them separate.
Okay.
Yeah, you buy them separate, and they got several different kinds depending on what you're sticking your knees in. But I got the lightweight knee pads.
Yeah, that's what I need. I guess the heavy weights for guys do flooring and stuff like that.
I think so. I think that's what they're for. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about what y'all got going on in the garden.
We started today, and we planted tomatoes. We planted okra, squash, zucchini, eggplants, cucumbers, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, and banana peppers. What else? That it? Did I get everything?
We're tired.
We're tired.
Are you through planting?
No. No. I still got peas and beans, and I got winter squash, and we got flowers.
So y'all are in 8?
We're in 8A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to be in 8B, but now we're in 8A. So
What kind of winter squash you gonna plant? Because I'm just before planting mine, and every year I have this big dilemma on which one I want to plant. I'm gonna plant one of the Peppo type. I do know that, but I can't figure out exactly what variety I want to plant.
I did acorn, I did spaghetti, and I did 2 that I cannot remember the names of. One of them was kind of bright orange, but I can't remember. I went on your website and just looked through and saw the ones they said was really good flavor, and I picked me a couple of eyeballs. I can't remember. I cannot remember to save my life.
I think it's one of the Peppo ones. I think that is. I was almost going to grow one of those. Yep. So I can't. With the Peppos are our favorite because they don't store as well, but they're a little bit sweeter. So we love those Peppo type. And if I plant a butternut or something like that, I may do it just a little bit later. Although we have to get it in before fall because the powdery mildew eats us up. But for the springtime, I grow those guandes, those Peppos types, and we just feed them up like crazy. They don't store about 30 days, but man, they don't last long here.
Greg, we planted an entire row of Bella Rosa tomatoes.
100%.
Did you?
Yeah. But I tell you, I only planted 3 sun golds. I learned my lesson on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't need much.
yeah. Yeah, I got of course, Sun Gold. It's going to be hard to ever beat Sun Gold for me. But there are some new ones out there that we're trialing out this year. It'd be interesting to see. But Sun Gold is tough to beat.
It's so tough to beat.
That's a good tomato.
All right, so talk to.
Straight off the vine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. All right, so it's all about flowers at the Cog Squad.
Yes.
I seen y'all had cosmos going in the ground the other day. We got this flower farm thing kicking off.
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit, and then we'll
Okay.
get into the Cog Hill Sunflower Collection.
We're planning. Gosh,
Lots of zinnias,
lots of zinnias.
lots of cosmos, lots of sunflowers. And I think it's just more of the fact that last year we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of experience under our belt, we kind of feel like we know what's going to grow well, what's going to do well, what's going to produce well. And
what people like. We
Yes.
kind of figure that out too. We're just doing these little, I call them farmhouse bouquets, and it's just zinnias, sunflowers, and cosmos, and maybe a little filler. Super easy to make, and I don't have to worry about. Last year, I kind of got overboard trying to plant too many different things, and it just got too overwhelming. So this year, I decided that I'm just going to stick to those three because those sold the best for us here.
And what was in there? Just a little bit of mix of everything.
Just a little bit mix everything, whatever was blooming that day that we could just go out there and cut. Me and Mary Carl, and that's it. And then the filler I would just find around the house. Yep.
And what do y'all sell these at?
We sold them at Petals from the Past last year, but this year we got us a little roadside stand.
How's that going with the eggs?
It's going okay. It's going okay. We thought we'd sell a little bit more eggs than we have, but we haven't said it to anybody. Just whoever drives by sees it. So I mean, and I'm sure people drive by and say, "I ain't buying no eggs on the side of the road."
So that you gonna put your flowers there?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my flowers there too.
you know what's going to happen?
Wow.
There's no man that's going to drive by and say, I'm in the doghouse. I'm going to bring my wife some eggs.
right.
That's not a good thing. But people will say, I'm going to bring my wife some flowers. And
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
it is.
That's right. Absolutely. So that's my plan there. I like going to Petals, but it's a 25-minute drive there. So, it's an hour of my day, going there and back.
And then you end up spending money while you're there, so it doesn't work out.
That's right.
Every
Most of the time we say, just put it on a tab.
But
Whatever.
Instead of a bar tab, y'all got a flower tab.
We
Huh?
got a flower tab. That's right.
So we're going to put a link up to the Cog Hill Sunflower Collection.
Yes.
Now, this is something that y'all put together last year, and I'll let you talk about that in just a minute. We're going to put it up to the link in here just a second.
Yeah, this were our favorite sunflowers, and I've come to find out that I love the pro cuts a lot. They're so easy to grow. You don't have to worry about pollen falling all over your table. Just the pro cuts are really, really awesome. And then there's some in there that are not pro cuts, like the chocolate cherry and the fuzzy ones, like the teddy bear ones. Just our favorite sunflowers. And anybody can grow them.
That's what I was saying.
Anybody can.
You can't go wrong
No.
with planting sunflower seeds.
No.
If something doesn't eat them, they're going to bloom.
Yes.
If something doesn't
Absolutely.
get to them before they get to the germination point.
Have y'all tried any of the dwarf sunflowers?
Just the teddy bears, because they don't get very big. And that's it. We haven't tried any dwarf ones. Or not last year we haven't. We may try some this year though.
Yeah, we got a couple ones that get really small. I mean, knee high at most. So
I mean, the flowers are just as big,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
don't get as tall. It's good to step up in an area.
Yeah, that would look good.
have you figured out how to control the bloom size with how you plant them, how many to a row?
Not on the flowers, I haven't.
On sunflowers, the thicker you plant your sunflowers, the smaller the head will be.
Well, that
It's
makes
just
sense.
what a lot of people want.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We
For
spaced
bases.
ours out last year. We did the thing where we put the 4-foot mat down and burned the holes in it. And matter of fact, I got Crowley House. She helped me on the spacing last year. And that's kind of what we did last year. So the sunflower spacing is what she told me to do because I didn't know.
Yeah, if you want those really big heads, you space them apart probably a foot apart. But a lot of cut flower farmers don't want those big heads. They want smaller heads, so they plant them thicker. And the thicker you plant them, the smaller the head will be, which is ideal for cut flowers sometimes.
That makes sense then. That makes sense.
Yep.
So this year we're not going to do the weed mat with the burn holes in it. It was just too much for us to try to re-put out that weed mat year after year. Pulling it up was the pits.
It's a pain. That is a pain. You think it saves you time, and I guess it would. I tell everybody to be proactive and not reactive, and that's where it comes with weeds. And I feel like it's easier for me to control weeds with no mulch, with no weed mat. I can take the house plow down my row, spend 10, 15 minutes 3 times a week, and on top of that, the tarping and the cover cropping, I don't have weed issues.
Right. And sunflowers grow so fast.
Yeah, they do grow fast. Yep, they do.
And Jason spends so little time weeding.
Yeah.
That I don't even know when he does it. I mean, the beds that are out there now, the onions and the garlic, they are weed free. But I don't ever see him weeding because he just stays on top of it and spends a few minutes every day. And it's not a big deal. But if you let it get to where it's an all-day chore, then you're going to say, I'm never going to plant again.
Yeah, that's right. You may want to go the weed mat route. I just don't like the weed mat or mulching. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got this lazy garden kit, and we sold it because people that don't have a lot of time or they need a garden, it's idea for that. But as far as what I do and the way I'm used to doing it, I'm like you. I grow on what we call a flat is what I do. Get that wheel or hoe out there and go through it, go at it. Sheila, she's a raised bed person. I'm a grower on the flat. So,
how's your raised beds coming?
We are, let's see, we're going to have 20, right? You know how many we're going to have?
20, yes.
20.
So we're halfway done?
We're halfway done, and we're fixing to the rest of them are ready as of yesterday.
Yes. All the timbers are ready. They're all ready to be installed. It's just a matter of us
putting them together now and spacing them out and all that kind of good stuff.
And what are you going to plant there?
I think we're going to do flowers and then some specialty items. I may put some heirloom tomatoes back there where I can baby them.
And herbs.
And some herbs, yeah. And just stuff that quick. I just think like quick stuff. Like if we need something for the kitchen right then, and we can just run right back there and get it.
Have you got some of the Abe Lincoln growing this year?
Got 2. Tracy gave me seeds that were your seeds last year because I didn't grow a big garden last year because we were living in a camper, and I didn't plant them. I didn't start them. So I said this year, what the heck? And I put them in I think maybe started 8 seeds and 2 came up. So I'm gonna baby them because that's the one I've been wanting to grow for a long time, really long time.
Yeah, well, good luck with them. I don't think I could be successful with them here. We just have so much disease pressure. We have probably a lot more than what y'all do because we have produce around here everywhere. Our threat pressure is off the chain.
Oh, wow.
And we just, man, we have it here. So we have to be really careful with what I grow. Now, I got a couple of them out there, but I mean, heirlooms, but I don't know if they'll make it.
Are those? I've got heirlooms. What are they?
I think you've got some, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really having a baby.
So we grew something this year that we've never grown before that we're going to start carrying seeds for this fall because you have to grow it in cool weather. But we grew celery in the garden and we were blown away.
We got around.
Really?
Okay.
What she said?
I don't know. I didn't hear.
Sheila grew celery this year.
Don't worry, Sheila. Jason would take credit for it too.
Yeah, he really gave me a hard time when I bought the celery plants from a big box store. That's not going to grow here. I don't know what you're doing. You're wasting your time.
So is that something that you plan on continuing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been in research ever since I've seen what success she had. I started doing research and reached out to one of our breeders, which actually carries a couple of really nice varieties, the most popular varieties out there. And I've been going back and forth with them on how to grow it and that kind of stuff. I didn't know we could grow it. The way I found out this, I was in below Tampa at a greenhouse doing a tour down there, and they had acres and acres of celery in the greenhouse. And I said, because I always thought celery was going to California for some reason. They grow a lot of celery in Florida. And I seen that down there, and I think, man, that's weird. I wonder if we could grow it, in South Georgia. And it grows wonderful up here.
Really?
Well, how is the flavor of your homegrown celery versus what you get in the store?
A lot better. It's like if you ever had homegrown asparagus.
Oh yeah.
It's just totally, I mean, it tastes like celery, but it's a little more intense. And I freeze dried a bunch of it. It's awesome freeze dried.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always read that there wasn't that much difference and it wasn't worth growing. And so that's the reason why I thought nobody around here grew it.
It was so easy. I had it, you do it just like you do your onions and your garlic.
Okay.
Like you just overwinter it. You don't do hardly anything to it.
You didn't grow that
It was just really
beds,
easy.
though, did you?
Yeah, actually in a grow bag.
A root pouch.
A root pouch.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow.
Cool.
I just had like 4 plants, but I've done 2 runs in my freeze dryer with it.
Do you just eat it as it is, or do you rehydrate it and use it that way?
Freeze drying.
I freeze dried. I did the leaves and all, and blended up and made like an onion and celery seasoning.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
That does sound
But I left some of it whole to like put in my soups and stuff like that.
Gotcha. What does it taste like just plain freeze dried? Is it like a chip?
Tastes really kind of like your onions do.
Gotcha.
Okay.
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 Could you imagine, though, whenever you need some fresh celery, just walking out the back door and having it?
That would be awesome.
Unreal.
Guess what we had for dinner tonight?
What?
Freeze dried collard greens.
We did.
I saw y'all do that. That was interesting.
Oh, it's so
How did it turn out?
Awesome. I mean, it tastes just like, we pulled them out of the ground today. I mean, they're awesome.
I tried some garlic chives the other day, and it did not have any flavor to it after I ran them through the freeze dryer.
Really.
Huh.
Yeah, they were terrible.
These are all, Brooke cooked them like she normally cooks them and then drained them off and put them in the freeze dry trays. And then all she does now is just add water to them.
you could actually just eat it like a chip, and that's why I was asking about the celery. But if you're a collard green fan, then you want it like collard greens, and that's what you do with it. We just add water, and it literally takes 5 minutes, and they're back to where they were.
Yep.
Have you tried onions in your freeze dryer?
Have not, but our onions are still in the garden.
I got them, and they're going to be nice this year. I mean, they're already bigger than my fist. And my greens are still just as green, so it ain't dying back yet. So onions are going to be that's something that's you learn that you grow certain things really well and certain things you don't. And I've never grown onions before in my life until 2 years ago from seed when y'all started carrying the seeds, and they just got huge. And so again this year they're huge, and I don't do anything different. I don't know. I struggled so hard with onions when I bought the little slips or whatever you want to call them from your store. Yeah, never ever got big, but starting from seed, and it blows your mind that little bitty tiny seed turns into that onion that's that big. I just hard to wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, onions is one of those things most people are successful with early on if they follow the basic rules of it. They could be successful growing onions if they follow them basic rules. Plant the right kind at the right time and fertilize them the right way. Boom, you got
them. Absolutely. Mine are looking. I can't wait. I'm just curious how big they're gonna get.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take a couple questions here. Are y'all up for that?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on with the ranch ice cream before you go?
We still got some left.
Well, I don't know why it hadn't made it to the garbage can.
I don't either.
But
so there's this fancy ice cream, and I can't think Van Leeuwen. I think that's the name of it. And
we're probably not saying it right, but that's how it's spelled.
Yeah. And they always have these exotic flavors, and they're really, 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 really good. But every now and then they do one that's weird. They've done Kraft macaroni and cheese. They've done Grey Poupon, and this one was ranch dressing. And so we ate it on our live a couple of weeks ago, and literally it tastes like sour cream and onion potato chip dip. It was
cold,
and it was cold, and it stayed in my mouth for a good 2 hours. I couldn't shake it. It was horrible.
Oh, you won't buy that again.
No, not at all. If you see it, just pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even try it.
Don't try it. But you know, us Southerners know ranch. You know, you see ranch, you're gonna try it.
All right, it says good evening, leaf miners and thrips are getting on my beans, zipper peas, and corn. Yep. I have an app that told me that spray Nemo and get rid of them. Is that correct? Please help. Yeah, Nemo will work on stuff when they're small.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they start getting up and above you a little bit, start getting away, you may have to go with something like Bug Buster too. Nemo works really good for insects in that early baby stage, but once they get out of the baby stage, it's harder to to get them after that. Are y'all planting any peas this year?
Yeah,
Jason?
we're gonna plant the pink eye purple hulls, the Mississippi. Yep, I ain't got them in the ground yet. I've had an issue with some critters getting in my garden or my garden area, and so I got that solved today. We'll have a video coming out on that in the next couple of days. But I've been waiting for that before I planted my peas.
So do y'all like zippers?
Yeah, I like zippers too.
I've got a recipe how to grow zippers and be really successful with them and have minimum insect pressure, but you got to do it in the fall of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, we may try that then.
Plant them in August. They do wonderful if you plant them at the right time.
Okay.
Plant them in the fall of the year. Man, very little insect pressure, and they come off wonderful.
Huh. Hey, talking about the neem oil, that goes back to me talking about being proactive and not reactive. You know, with organic pesticides, all your oils, your BT, your pyrethrin, your spinosad, you know, those things work great if you stay on top of it and spray, you know, once a week or every other week, and don't wait until you have an issue. Then they're not going to work very well.
You know, one thing, because a lot of times things get away from me because, you know, life happens.
Yes.
One thing that I have found to be successful is I have a spray day. So I have a day every week that's my spray day. And I know whether it be Tuesday or Saturday, when Tuesday rolls around, I've got spray. And that's the way I keep up with it is Tuesday's my spray day.
Yep.
If you don't, things just get away from you. So that's kind of the way I do it. I know, you know, Tuesday's my day. I'm going to do it on Tuesday. When I get off work, that's what I got to do. So
that's the best.
You're exactly right. Those insects will get away from you in a hurry. And y'all, we got Chestnut Hills in the house tonight.
Hey, Chestnut.
Hey, Nick and Zoe.
All right. Is citric acid okay to lower pH for berry and fruit trees? Ooh, Uncle Charlie.
Jason might get answer that.
Jason, you got any insight on that? I got some thoughts, but I'm not sure I'm right on it.
No, I got very acidic soil here, and which we put lime out in our garden area, but my fruit orchard, I'm just taking a handful of pelleted lime and putting it in the hole and we plant.
Yeah, I think there's probably better options out there than citric acid to lower the pH. So any kind of sulfur works better. The elemental sulfur is the best thing for lowering the pH. What is your pH run over there?
Oh gosh, anywhere from 4.9 to 5.2, I think.
Oh man, that would be ideal blueberry.
Oh yeah,
our blueberries are.
Yeah.
They look like our onions.
Yeah, blueberries.
Your blackberries too look awesome.
Blackberries. I'm gonna have an unreal blackberry year this year. It's gonna be, and I did it just like Petals did. I got it growing on that trellis. They're loaded with blooms. It's gonna be nice. Blackberries.
What varieties do you have? Do you know?
The blackberries, I got Kiowa, and I just planted Natchez, which is a thornless variety. And those are the two. Blueberries, across the board. I couldn't even name them all. I got them written down, but
Tracy had a bunch of blueberries that she could not use at her farm.
Mm-hmm.
She was redoing her fruit orchard, and so she pulled up a bunch of blueberries and she brought them over here, and they sat and they sat and they sat because we didn't have our fruit orchard ready. So we just put them in the shade, tried to keep them watered. By the time we planted them, they were not real pretty. They were looking like little sticks. And we didn't know if they'd make it or not, but we said, hey, we'll give it a try. We've been babying them this long. So we put them in our acidic soil, and within a week or two, those things started looking like they were.
They're done well.
I mean, just did a phenomenal turnaround.
So obviously blueberries transplant well too.
I wish we could grow them. We can't. We can't do well with them. They're one of my favorite things. We got some neighbors down the road down there. Just got the right kind of soil for them. They do well with them. So we just have to go down there and
Pick 'em.
pick some of theirs.
Ain't nothing wrong with that though.
Yeah. So what y'all got coming up this weekend?
We have the Petals from the Past Antiques in the Garden meet and greet, which will be on Saturday, April 22nd from 9 to 4. And if you're in the area and want to meet us, y'all come on. And it's not just us. And I'm gonna leave somebody out, so I'm
You
not
got it
gonna.
all written down.
Do I have it in this book?
Yeah.
I got so many books now. I don't.
You might not have the right
I may
book.
not have this in this book. I just grabbed a book.
Well, I thought that was the right one.
No,
It's a
but
lot.
it's
of,
a lot of us.
Alabama
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's 11. It's 11 total. 11
homestead
total
YouTube channels in Alabama only.
So we went over to Dothan a couple of weeks ago and met some of them over there. Perry Hill was over there, and there was some more people over there we got to meet. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, Perry Hill's going to be there.
Perry Hill's going to be there. I'm making this. See, it's going to be us, Head Family Farm, Big Family Small Farm, Chestnut Hills, Perry Hills, Tracy, Just Dig It Farm,
Little Cahaba
Junkin, A&W Mini Farm, Sneed Family, not Sneed Family Farm, Sneed Farm Sanctuary. Is that right? Farmhouse Sanctuary. Simply Lake and Lace, and there's one more. I'm missing it. There's 11.
Lace.
It's
Lace.
Simply Lake and Lace.
About the Alabama.
There's somebody, the one that's
We've had them. They had the camper thing. What's
yeah,
the name?
that's them right there.
Floratown. Flora.
Nope.
Flomaton?
Nope, it's not them.
Floribama.
Look, it's their
Floribama.
oh man.
Gosh.
It's bad to be getting old, isn't it?
Sure is. I'm ready for this clock to go the opposite direction.
It's something like Finally Home in Alabama or
Finally
something.
home in Bama.
That's
Is that it?
That's something like that. That's the other one.
That's
So this year at
Home in
Pedestal,
Bama. There it is. That's it.
yep, that's it. So it's only the Alabama group.
Yep.
Yep. They will not let anybody that's not from Alabama in over there.
Yeah, we kind of got kicked to the
Us and Cattywampus got kicked to the curb. However,
those bullets.
rumor says we're going to get invited back come fall time.
That's right. There's gonna be another one in the fall.
Yep. Well, look at
somebody put the line up.
Head Family Farm put the
Yeah.
line up on there.
There we go with all the
Thank
links and
you,
everything.
Head Family
We
Farm.
can always count on the Head Family Farm to come through for us. Can't
They're a
we?
step ahead of all of
They
us.
are super fast.
But you know what? They're half our age.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Or a
right.
third.
Yeah, it's more like it.
Yeah. So you plan on having another one come fall, so maybe we'll get invited to the one fall time.
Hopefully so. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
If we act right and keep
That's
everything on the up and up, we'll get over there.
Don't get arrested.
We can always sneak in.
Sneak in, yeah.
Yeah, just visit.
Wear a disguise or something.
There you
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, it was great having y'all. We look forward to coming seeing y'all maybe this fall, and we hope y'all have a great weekend next week. I know y'all will.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
And whoa, you keep selling those seeds, and my life expectancy's going lower and lower each year.
As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna go look at those overalls.
Good deal.
You need to.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Y'all be good.
Y'all too.
All right. I know that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get in some questions. Hello from Texas. I've got about 4 pinkers of my shelling peas. Wow, that's quick.
Yeah.
And now they look like they're dying off. Is this when I rip them out? Yeah, probably so. Yep, 4 pickings in. I'd say I would go ahead and get them out and move on. That was quick. 4 pickings of shelling peas. You think that was English peas? Or
Yeah. Don't shelling peas.
Tiger Head Terry says, so the only place I have to plant potatoes is part shade. It gets about 5-ish hours of sun daily. Would that be okay? I don't know. That's going to be tough right there. 5 hours.
Yeah, you need more
Yeah.
than that, at least 8.
Yeah, I would say so. You gonna get some of those overalls?
No.
The knee pad thing was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
William says the hoss wheel has become my go-to weed tool, so I'm glad I got it. Yeah, I use mine daily. Question for the pros: do you have problems with critters in your raised beds?
no.
None.
Which I do have a little fence around my raised beds.
But we really blessed. I have a little bit of a rabbit problem in the fall of the year, but besides that, we don't have much a critter problem at all.
No, we have a dog named Maggie.
Maggie Jane, she patrols the garden.
She's an outside dog, and she patrols what time she's not in the office. Now during the day, she's in the office with Greg.
So Big Family Matters says, I mean, technically y'all could come as a visitor to Petals.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We're busy this time of the year, Wes. So we're gonna step back and let y'all have y'all's moment in the sun. But I'll be honest with you, I'm envious. I would love to hang out with y'all. It's a great group to go over there and hang out with. So man, maybe this fall we'll go over and hang out with everybody.
Nebraska prepper nurse, celery, my first year growing. I need tips. I honestly did not do anything to mine. When I fertilized my onions and my garlic, I fertilized the celery. It does like a lot of water, keep it really hydrated. But it was easy. I used a 45-gallon root pouch, and I had 4 plants in there. And they're still going strong.
Yeah. Now the problem with celery is the germination part growing from seed. But we're going to have some tips and everything for that by the time fall gets
These
around.
These
here.
were transplants that I bought.
So Beijio Seeds, which is one of the leaders in the celery production, has sent me 2 different types, 2 different seeds to trial out this fall here, and I've already pretty much got my mind made up which one I think we're going to offer. We're probably just going to offer one type of celery, and we'll give everybody some tips on what the breeder says the best way to germinate it, how you germinate, because those seeds are very small. Mm-hmm. Some of them come pelleted, so we may end up getting some pelleted seed that'll help somewhat. But there'll be some tricks there, so we'll figure it out and pass that information on. But I'm excited about celery. Katie said, let me back up here. I accidentally burned some tomato plants with fertilizer. Could I save them or give up? If they burnt too bad,
all the way up, then
I would give up.
If it's just the bottom leaves, you might could keep going.
Yeah. We want to see.
That would be good.
That would be good. And I can bust some moves now. You know that, girl. You know I can bust some moves. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that Halloween thing we did?
Yeah, whatever. I didn't have my heart in that one. What would be cause some of my pepper plants to lose leaves? Ooh, it could be several different things. Insect pressure, stress, any kind of stress, too dry, too wet, especially too wet. If they got that yellow coloring to them, they could be getting too wet. Several different things. Try to figure out what's stressing them, William, and that's probably the culprit of causing them to make them lose leaves.
What kind of fertilizer do you use vegetables in a raised bed? I use the same as Greg uses, just different rates. And if you go to our Halls University tab on our website, for all the vegetables, we give a recommendation for the raised beds as well as in-ground. Yeah,
probably the best one we got, the safest one, the most versatile fertilizer we have is our complete organic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I use that a lot.
It's an organic fertilizer. It's a chicken manure. Works wonderful. It's pelletized. Don't have a lot of stank to it. It's easy to apply. Put it out there and work it into your beds here, and it's a no-brainer.
And I also like the Dr. Joe tablets. We've got the vegetable, the flour, the 4 different kinds.
Yeah.
But it's just so easy to use because you put 1 tablet in a gallon of water and pour on there.
Yeah.
Now this year I did put drip irrigation in 4 of my beds, And I used the Hoss fertilizer injector for the first time the other day.
You did, and I was proud of you. I let her do it all on her own. Now, I did have to give her some advice a
Yeah.
time or two, but she did it all
You
on
helped
her
me
own.
figure out how much to put in there.
Yeah.
But I've got some tomatoes in my raised beds, which I normally don't do. But they're doing really well.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Stephanie Owens says, I know there are a lot of contributing factors, but do you have a rule of thumb for how long drip irrigation needs to run equal of inch of rain? No, I don't. I don't. My guess is it would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 45 minutes, maybe somewhere there. You're putting out 0.4 gallons per 100 foot per minute. So that gives you any idea. But the thing about it is you put it all right there where the root system of the plant is at, so you're not watering the middles out there. So you're not going to be putting out the same amount as the inch would be all over your garden, but really and truly all you need to be concerned about is where your plants is at. So normally this time of the year when my plants are small, I run mine 30 to 45 minutes. Now when my plants get big and it starts getting really hot, and there's a lot of leaves on the plant, I may run it for a couple, 3 hours. Hey, Stan and Anita from Huntsville, Alabama. Should I ring my garlic like onions first time for both?
You know what you're talking about?
No, I don't.
Like the Vidalia engines, some people say go around them with your finger.
Oh, I never do that.
Yeah,
Stan and Anita, I never do that.
I actually did that.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Did it
did.
make you a difference?
Some of them it did.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't have time for
My
that.
granddad used to do that. I only had a few in my raised beds. But
Yeah.
yeah, they say if you loosen that soil, it helps the bulb get bigger.
I grow a lot of onions and I don't have time to be out there ringing around no onions. So.
But now with garlic, I didn't.
Yeah.
Melons on trellis.
Oh boy, we had. It's according to what are you talking about? See, this is the problem. We had Tracy here from Scott. We actually had Tracy and Craig here from Sakata last Tuesday. We did a show and we went out to lunch and we got talking about melons at lunch. One of the problems with melons is people up north call melons different things than we do down south.
Yeah.
Are you talking about watermelons? If you're talking about watermelons, the best tasting mini watermelons to me is Yellow Dog. They're a yellow watermelon, but that by all means is the best one in my book. Now, if you're talking about cucumbers or muskmelons, that's a different story. And we had that conversation.
Dolly, what is it? A dolly?
It was a dolly. They was going to send us some seed on to try. Yeah. But we don't eat. You like cantaloupe. I don't like cantaloupe. But we, down here in the South, we just don't grow much muskmelons. But muskmelons are becoming increasingly popular. So we may have to check into that. But if you're talking about watermelons, Yellow Dolly. It's a seeded variety.
Yeah. You got your watermelons planted?
I do, and they're rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Why is my elephant garlic trying to make a lower flower bud on top? Is that normal?
Yes, it's normal. Usually when the flower blooms, the garlic's ready.
Yep. Go ahead and pull it up and take that little.
Yeah, you really don't want the energy going to that bloom, although I do let some of mine do that because it's really pretty.
Yep.
I'll actually harvest them and put them in a vase.
Yep. Nebraska pepper nurse. So you.
Pepper, not pepper.
I can't say again.
Do you overwinter your celery? Yes, we did. This is the first year we done it, but I planted it about the same time as my onions and garlic and overwintered it. Oh, yeah. There's an email that went out today for the Mother's Day special.
While we're on the subject here, I'll give you a couple housekeeping things going on. We're going to start shipping out sweet potato slips this week. So if you live in the South, you will probably within the next week or 10 days get your sweet potatoes sent to you. If you go to our website and look under sweet potatoes plants, you'll go down there and we have a graph showing according to where you live when they will ship. So everybody in the South is going to get their sweet potato slips sent to them next week. Now, if you've not ordered them, you may want to get in line. If you've not got your spot ready for sweet potatoes, do not fret. We have plenty of time here in the South to plant sweet potatoes. I probably will not plant mine until on up in May, and it'll be fine. So, yeah, we have plenty of them available. So it is getting sweet potato time, and we got that. Also, we still got plants. So we have a lot of tomato plants, all your brassicas, your cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, and all that, and tomatoes. We have tomato plants as well available on our website. And we'll start shipping them out again in the morning. We ship on Monday and Tuesday. Now, if you live close by, we'll ship yours out on Wednesday. But if you live very far away, we normally just ship on Monday and Tuesdays. Big Family Matter says the plugs are awesome. Yes, they are. Thank you.
Daniel Harbin, I just want to say you guys are awesome. Love my house arsenal. Everything in my garden I got from y'all. Thanks for what y'all do. Keep up the great work. Much love from Trenton, Alabama. Well, thank you, Daniel.
Heck yeah.
Makes us feel good. Ruger Sawyer, how can I keep squirrel from digging up seeds? I have no choice but plant next to trees to get most sun.
Get you a Maggie Jane.
Yeah.
Maggie Jane chases squirrels all
We
day
have
long.
probably 10 to 12 squirrels, would you say?
And they
That we
run
can
for their
count.
dear life when
Yeah.
Maggie Jane's out.
Get you a good squirrel dog. She's only caught one. She mainly just chases them.
She's come close.
Oh, no.
Howard Homestead, talk me
Talk to
about
me.
top of tomato plant.
Pepper plants.
Pepper plants. So a lot of this stuff's going on now. We've seen it on YouTube Shorts. We've seen it on TikTok. We're seeing all this advice out there on topping peppers. And I also see the thing where they topping tomatoes out and getting the 2 liters on there. All right, so let's start with peppers first. No, do not top out your pepper
Unless
plants.
you're in a high tunnel.
Not on pepper plants, period.
really?
No. Pepper plants, don't top them out. It's not going to do any good there to top them out. It's just going to stress your plant. I can't see any
Well,
benefit.
why did they say do it?
No, you're talking about tomatoes
No,
now.
peppers.
Peppers, they say more energy goes to the actual, it causes more fruit and more energy to go to the,
Sure, like what I do with zinnias.
yes, but with peppers, it's not good. It's one of those things people feel good about doing, but I've talked to a lot of the seed companies that work a lot with peppers, and they told me no. And none of you commercial people top pepper plants. So I don't know where all this information comes from, but no, I don't see any, nor have I talked to anybody that was an expert on growing peppers that said this did any good. It just didn't reason to me. Now let's move on to the tomatoes. So a lot of these people are taking these tomatoes, and they're pinching the top out of the tomatoes, and they're making these 2 liters. That is fine if you're growing indeterminate type tomatoes in a high tunnel so that you can trellis it up and you can keep those 2 liters going. Very few homeowners are doing that. If you're growing an indeterminate tomato out in the garden and
You
you're
need that foliage.
you need that foliage, but not only that, you're going to use a tomato cage or whatever. It doesn't really work. And if you're growing determinates, don't do it, period. So there are times to do it on tomatoes, but it's very rare that you would need to do that
For the home gardener.
for the home gardener. Yeah.
Katie Campbell, our tomato plants, how much do you pitch off to get a good tomato plant?
Exactly. Same thing there. Now, we will pinch off some of the bottom leaves, and I have been suckering some of my indeterminate years, but as far as pinching off the tops, unless you're growing in a high tunnel, just don't do it. If you're growing in a high tunnel and you're trellising them up and keeping them tied up, yeah, it would work. Besides that, nope. Cindy W., can I plant directly into 2-year-old old horse compost? No, I would not, Cindy. I would mix it probably a third with some good soil. Or if you don't have soil and you put it in raised beds, the cheapest peat moss you can buy will work good. Compost, really good compost, doesn't hold moisture real good. We found that out with our compost out there. You have to mix it with peat moss or either soil for it to work really well. I got all worked up on that pinching thing.
You did. Got on your soapbox.
It did. Yeah. I hate to see people give advice and they just they don't.
Look here. Wait, Mama Hoss, do you top zinnias? Does that produce more blooms? Yes, it does. So when you see the first little bud coming out, I will pinch that off.
Yeah, and
not top it, just pinch the bud off.
Or if they get away from you, when you have that first bloom that comes off on the zinnia, reach down there way down deep and cut it off, and that will cause
it does make it bush and have more blooms.
Yep. Zinnias is one of those few that you do want to do it with.
It's kind of hard to do.
It is hard to do, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Hoss Tools, Greg, do you have a store on RL Sears Road? People can visit to buy stuff. I
Oh,
live
Zippy,
10 minutes away. Zippy, you're more than welcome to come by. But call ahead, or if you got a little time, when you come in, tell the girls up front what you want. They'll be glad to pull it for you. Or if somebody's around,
We do
we'll share it.
curbside pickup, and you can come in and order and pick up. But as far as having a store to shop in, we just have a
We don't.
warehouse.
And once you see our setup here, you'll understand it. Everything back there in the back is pulled, and we got several people back there running all the time pulling orders. And they pull on being location. So that's the reason we try to automate the back as much as we can. So it's not conducive to.
But you're
walking around
welcome to
shopping.
stop by.
Yeah, welcome to stop by.
Love your show. I drove to Hall's Tools when you were close to me. I have 10 Halston tomatoes, doing so well, making a list so I can go back and get more stuff. Do you sell perlite? Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm fixing to plant my second planting of squash, because we got squash starting to come on. And I got behind a little bit, so I need to plant some more to get caught up so we have an endless supply of squash.
We'll be tired of squash.
We'll be tired of squash, yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, be planned. I can't.
8A, planted a spring garden, includes your awesome Scarlet Nantes carrots. People say they have weird texture when growing in spring. Is this your experience? I've never grown any in spring. I've only grown them in the winter.
You cannot beat them over winter. That's just the way we do it. Another thing too, in the springtime, we're normally growing something else.
Yeah. We're growing
I got
summer
some
crops.
pretty collard and we got to start eating.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama girl says, I have corn growing on my land. I've got about 12 plants that are dying. Everything else looks good. It never happened before. Any suggestions? Getting plenty of water. Look, make sure it's not cutworms. Could be cutworms. Something causing it to die. That's the first thing I would look at. If not, I would pull one of the dead ones up and see if I can't see something going on with the root system there. If your roots are rotting, then you could have some soil-borne diseases, which is not normal for corn, but anything's possible. Okay, Adam's Greenhouse is in the house up in Zone 6 in Ohio. We plant sweet potatoes mid-May. Yep, and we can plant them. I have planted them all the way up to June and had very good results down here in the South because we stay warmer a lot longer than you guys do. So we have a longer planting window than you guys do up in Ohio. I'm assuming you have to get them planted in May to have time for them to mature out. Is that correct? Diana says, yeah, we always wait till Mother's Day to plant in Ohio. Our daughter lives in Ohio, and that's what she said. She said that's the rule up there is Mother's Day.
All right. You about
Sounds
ready?
good. Yep. So thank y'all for joining us. We got the link in the somewhere there description for the Cog Hill Sunflower Collection. That is a collection that Mary Carl, Jason put together, and I'm sure Brooke helped them as well. They put together their favorites there. So we have that Cog Hill Sunflower Collection we're going to put a link to. Where we already
check
got
out their YouTube channel.
Check out their YouTube channel. If you're anywhere close to Petals to the Past next weekend, make sure you get over to see them all. There's going to be a bunch of them there. And little Eleanor from Head Family Farm will be there. And you got to give her a hug. She's just precious. Yep. And Wes and the Angie and all the
Big Family Matters.
Big Family Matters will be there.
Their name.
Yep. They'll all be there. So there'll be a bunch of folks, Perry Hill Farms. They'll all be there. Chestnut Hill. You've got to get by there to see those guys. Give them a hug for us. We good hanging out with y'all tonight. So we're going to get out of here. I got to go turn my irrigation off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Eat some supper.
Yep. Thank y'all. We'll see you next time.